Welcome to today's episode of Book Bites, where we break down the best books and bring you their key takeaways in a digestible format. I'm your host, and today we're diving into Atomic Habits by James Clear, a book that has transformed the way people think about behavior, habits, and personal development. Whether you're looking to improve your productivity, get healthier, or just make meaningful changes in your life, Atomic Habits provides a powerful framework for doing just that. In this episode, I'm going to give you a comprehensive summary of the book, covering its core ideas, key principles, and actionable strategies. So, let's get into it. 1. The power of small habits. James Clear starts by introducing the idea that small habits, what he calls atomic habits, are the building blocks of lasting change. Instead of focusing on big, dramatic transformations, Clear emphasizes the power of tiny changes that compound over time. Just like how atoms combine to form molecules, small habits combine to create big results. Clear illustrates this with a simple idea: 1% improvement. If you improve by just 1% every day, over time, those tiny improvements compound to create significant changes. Conversely, if you get 1% worse every day, your habits will lead to a slow but steady decline. The key takeaway here is that small habits matter more than we often realize, and consistency is the secret to progress. 2. The 4 laws of behavior change. One of the core frameworks in Atomic Habits is the 4 laws of behavior change, which provide a simple way to understand how habits are formed and how they can be changed. These 4 laws are: cue the trigger that initiates the habit, craving the desire or need that the habit satisfies, response, the actual behavior or action, reward, the positive outcome or benefit you get from the behavior. Clear breaks down each of these stages and offers strategies for reinforcing or breaking habits by manipulating each stage. Let's take a look at these laws in more detail. 3. First law, make it obvious. The first law, make it obvious, focuses on the cue or trigger for the habit. To create a good habit, you want to make the cues obvious and visible. Clear suggests using a technique called implementation intentions, which is essentially deciding in advance when and where you will perform the behavior. For example, instead of saying, "I'll work out tomorrow," you might say, "I'll go to the gym at 7 a.m. tomorrow." Clear also introduces the idea of habit stacking, which is the process of linking a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you already brush your teeth every morning, you could stack the habit of doing 10 push-ups right after you brush your teeth. This makes the cue for the new habit obvious and tied to something you already do automatically. 4. Second law, make it attractive. The second law, make it attractive, focuses on the craving part of the habit loop. The more attractive a habit is, the more likely we are to repeat it. To make a habit attractive, Clear suggests using a technique called temptation bundling, which is pairing something you enjoy with something you want to do, but don't find as appealing. For instance, you might listen to your favorite podcast only while going for a walk. This links the action you desire to an activity you enjoy, making it easier to stick to. Another strategy is to change your environment so that the habits you want to develop are easier to do and the habits you want to break are harder. For example, if you want to eat healthier, you could put your snacks in hard-to-reach places and keep fruits and vegetables front and center. 5. Third law, make it easy. The third law, make it easy, focuses on the response phase of the habit loop, which is the action or behavior itself. The easier you make a habit to perform, the more likely you are to stick with it. One key concept here is the 2-minute rule. Any new habit you try to form should take less than 2 minutes to do. For example, instead of committing to an hour of reading each day, start with just 2 minutes. Once you start, it's much easier to continue, and over time, you'll naturally extend the habit. Clear also emphasizes the importance of reducing friction, making good habits easier and bad habits harder. If you want to exercise more, for example, lay out your workout clothes the night before, so it's easy to just get started. If you want to cut down on social media use, remove apps from your phone or log out to add friction. 6. Fourth law, make it satisfying. The final law, make it satisfying, focuses on the reward phase of the habit loop. Habits that are immediately satisfying are much more likely to be repeated. The key here is to reinforce positive behaviors and make them feel rewarding right away. Clear discusses the idea of using visual cues like tracking your progress. For example, marking an X on a calendar for each day you complete your habit creates a satisfying visual representation of your success. He also talks about the concept of delayed gratification. We often focus on the long-term benefits of a habit, like weight loss or financial freedom. But it's important to find ways to enjoy the process and celebrate small wins along the way. By making the habit itself satisfying, you're more likely to stay motivated. 7. The role of identity in habit formation. A major theme in Atomic Habits is the idea of identity-based habits. Rather than focusing on the outcome, for example, I want to lose weight, Clear suggests focusing on the kind of person you want to become. For example, I am someone who is healthy. Identity-based habits are about shifting your self-image and aligning your habits with the type of person you want to be. For example, instead of saying, I want to run a marathon, say, I am a runner. By focusing on who you are becoming rather than just what you want to achieve, you make your habits more sustainable and aligned with your values. 8. Breaking bad habits. In addition to building good habits, Clear also covers how to break bad habits. The key to breaking bad habits is to invert the 4 laws of behavior change. Make it invisible. Remove cues that trigger bad habits. If you want to stop eating junk food, stop keeping it in the house. Make it unattractive. Reframe the habit in a way that makes it less appealing. For example, you might remind yourself of the negative long-term effects of smoking. Make it difficult. Increase friction around bad habits. If you want to stop watching TV, unplug the TV after each use so it's harder to access. Make it unsatisfying. Attach an immediate consequence to bad habits. For example, if you miss a workout, donate money to a cause you don't support. 9. The importance of environment. Clear also emphasizes the power of your environment in shaping your habits. Your surroundings play a huge role in determining whether your habits succeed or fail. If your goal is to read more, for instance, leave books in places where you'll see them, like next to your bed or on the couch. If you're trying to eat healthier, fill your kitchen with nutritious food and keep unhealthy snacks out of sight. 10. The Goldilocks rule and the plateau of latent potential. Clear also talks about the Goldilocks rule, which states that humans experience peak motivation when they're working on tasks that are just the right level of difficulty, not too easy, not too hard. This principle explains why we tend to lose motivation when things become too easy or too difficult, and why we're more likely to keep going when we're slightly challenged. Another key concept is the plateau of latent potential, which explains why we often don't see immediate results from our efforts. In the beginning, the changes may be invisible, but that doesn't mean progress isn't happening. Just like ice melting slowly, habits often require time before their results become visible. 11. Final thoughts. To wrap up, Atomic Habits is a powerful, actionable guide to understanding how habits work and how to build or break them effectively. Clear's focus on small, incremental improvements, the 4 laws of behavior change, and the importance of identity transformation offers a simple yet profound framework for achieving personal growth. If there's one thing to take away from this book, it's this. Small changes, made consistently, can lead to extraordinary results. So, start small, build good habits, and see how they compound into something much bigger over time. That's it for today's episode of Book Bites. I hope you found this summary of Atomic Habits helpful and inspiring. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and share it with friends who might benefit from these insights. Thanks for listening, and remember, your habits are the key to shaping the life you want.